Teams that overhaul their entire identity in a single offseason are not supposed to look polished from day one. They aren't supposed to come out of training camp with chemistry that feels handcrafted, or win 9 straight games as if they've been building this project for years. They aren't supposed to rank top 5 in offense and defense while closing out tight games with the composure of a team that has seen deep playoff battles together. But the Toronto Raptors did exactly that, defying every expectation and rewriting the narrative around what a rebuilt roster can look like when the pieces fall into place with surprising harmony. What makes this transformation even more staggering is how quickly it has become believable. Nothing feels like a fluke. Nothing looks unsustainable. Instead, it looks like the Raptors have finally unlocked a version of themselves they've been chasing for years. For so long, Toronto could do almost everything except survive the half-court grind. They ran the floor better than almost anyone, flying in transition with relentless tempo. They defended with a level of length, energy, and effort that could overwhelm opponents. They rebounded with discipline and toughness. But the moment the game slowed down and possessions turned into chess matches instead of races, the Raptors broke. Late clock situations became coin tosses, and for 4 straight seasons they lived in the basement of half-court scoring. They simply did not have a player who could stabilize the offense when the game demanded poise instead of chaos. This year, everything changed the moment Brandon Ingram arrived. Toronto didn't bring him in to be a 30-a-night scorer or to dominate every possession with isolation basketball. They brought him in to solve the single biggest flaw that had crippled them for years. They brought him in for reliability. And that is exactly what he has delivered. Ingram controls a possession in ways Toronto hasn't seen since the Kawhi era. He can get to any spot he chooses, at any moment, without needing elaborate screens or a perfect setup. He can punish mismatches, rise for mid-range jumpers, manipulate defensive switches, and force help rotations in ways that completely reshape the geometry of the floor. For the first time in years, slowing the Raptors down is no longer a cheat code for beating them. When the game gets tight, they now have a player who doesn't panic, who doesn't rush, and who doesn't rely on luck. That alone has turned their half-court offense from a liability into a legitimate strength. The ripple effect of Ingram's presence has been transformative, and no one has benefited more than Scottie Barnes. It is almost humorous to think back on the reaction after the trade, when so many people insisted that the pairing wouldn't work. They said the spacing would be clunky. They said the roles would overlap. They said both players needed the same areas of the floor. But this is why basketball isn't built on theory. When the ball is rolled out, something much more dynamic emerges. Scottie has slipped perfectly into the release valve role, the pressure reliever, the connector. When defenses blitz Ingram, Scottie becomes the open auxiliary option. When Ingram draws smaller defenders, Scottie becomes the secondary playmaker. When defenses sit in drop coverage, Scottie operates in wider, cleaner lanes. Ingram didn't shrink Scottie's game, he expanded it. This expansion is evident in Scottie's stunning growth across the board. After abandoning his three-point shot last year and being dismissed as a non-shooter, he returned this season with renewed confidence and a dramatically better stroke, climbing to 39% from deep. That single improvement reshaped the Raptors' spacing and forced defenses to stay honest. Suddenly, Ingram had room to attack. Drives became wider. Rotations became slower. Scottie going from a liability to a respected shooter reshaped the entire offense. But the growth didn't stop there. Scottie fixed his transition finishing, becoming the kind of physical downhill force his body always suggested he could be. He embraced contact more aggressively, increased his rim attempts, and rose to elite efficiency in transition. And when fouled, he punished teams by shooting 86% of the line, a number that flipped the outcome of multiple close games. This newest version of Scottie is no longer potential waiting to happen. He is production, impact, and maturity wrapped into one. What elevates Toronto even further is the structure surrounding their dual cornerstone. R.J. Barrett was playing the best basketball of his life before injury, providing downhill pressure and absorbing defensive attention with drives that cracked open the floor. His absence sharpened his importance instantly, as the Raptors' offense noticeably sputtered without his ability to collapse defenses. Emmanuel Quickley, after an early season slump, rediscovered his rhythm once Jakob Poeltl returned to stabilize the center position. Quickley's blend of controlled aggression and shot-making has become the backbone of Toronto's guard play, offering the kind of calm decision-making they lacked in previous seasons. Jakob Poeltl, meanwhile, continues to anchor everything quietly yet profoundly. He doesn't need plays drawn for him, because his value lies in timing, spacing, rim protection, and the invisible plays that win games in silence. His late-game block against Indiana was the kind of moment that shifts momentum and gives stars a chance to close the door. The depth behind them has been equally impactful. Jamal Shead has commanded the second unit confidently. Mamu brings connective energy and lineup versatility. Jacoby Walters' two-way minutes have boosted their rotation. Grady Dick has carved out a clean, sustainable role. A year ago, Toronto's bench was among the worst in basketball. Now it is one of the deepest, most balanced second units in the league. But the most defining upgrade is the team's identity. Last season, Toronto relied on chaos. They had to trap, gamble, and scramble relentlessly because their half-court offense couldn't keep up. This year, they operate with structure on both ends. Their offense begins with Ingram's steady creation and Scotty's connective glue. Their defense has transformed from frantic to disciplined. They pressure the ball intelligently, rotate with purpose, switch only when it benefits the scheme, and use mixed coverages with cohesive execution. When they targeted Donovan Mitchell, they showed a complete defensive plan, forcing inefficient shots without panicking. And now that both ends of the floor are trustworthy, their clutch performance has skyrocketed. A 7-2 record in close games is no accident. It is the result of structure, trust, and clarity. So, are they legitimate? Strength of schedule will get tougher, but what they've built is not a mirage. Top 5 in offense and top 5 in defense rarely happens by accident. This is a team with balance, identity, and genuine star structure. They may not be contenders yet, but they are undeniably real. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think about this new Raptors identity? Are they truly a rising force in the East or simply benefiting from an early season window? And which player do you believe is the biggest key to sustaining this level of play? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future breakdowns.